What if I told you that your body is not a static object, but a masterpiece under constant, never-ending renovation? Every single cell in your lungs is replaced every few weeks. Your skin is entirely new every month. Your very skeleton, as solid as it seems, is completely redesigned and replaced every 10 years. You are quite literally not the same physical person you were a decade ago. The profound question we must ask ourselves is simple but life-altering. What are the building blocks you are providing for this grand renovation? The legendary polymath Leonardo da Vinci once observed that nature is the source of all true knowledge. He believed that she has her own logic and her own laws, and that she produces no effect without a cause and no invention without a necessity. For centuries, modern humanity looked at food as mere fuel, calories to be burned for mechanical energy. But today, cutting-edge molecular biology is finally catching up to ancient wisdom. We are discovering that certain plants do not just provide energy, they provide biological instructions. They contain specific, complex molecules that can talk directly to your DNA, wake up your dormant stem cells, and trigger a metabolic process called autophagy. This is the body's internal vacuum cleaner, a system that identifies and consumes diseased or broken cells to make room for new, vibrant ones. In this deep exploration, I am going to walk you through 20 extraordinary superfoods and plants that function as the biological architects of your future self. We are moving far beyond the marketing hype of synthetic supplements and stepping into the rigorous realm of regenerative nutrition. We will explore how these specific plants can physically block the corrosive enzymes that destroy your joints, and how they provide the raw, essential matrix to rebuild your skin, your heart, and your internal organs. Stay with me, because number 13 on this list is currently the subject of intense study by neuroscientists for its staggering ability to literally stimulate the growth of new neurons in the brain. And number 20? It is perhaps the most complex nutritional matrix ever assembled by the natural world, a food used for thousands of years to sustain human life in the most punishing conditions on Earth. If you are ready to stop merely surviving and start a process of radical biological rebuilding, let us begin this journey into your new body. We begin our renaissance of repair with the first architect, turmeric and its golden essence, curcumin. Hippocrates, often called the father of modern medicine, famously taught that the natural forces within us are the true healers of disease. However, those healing forces are paralyzed when the body is in a state of constant, systemic internal fire. In our modern world, we identify this fire as chronic inflammation, the silent driver of almost every degenerative condition. Turmeric contains curcumin, a polyphenol that is perhaps the most scrutinized anti-inflammatory compound in the history of clinical science. When your skin is assaulted by UV radiation or the toxins of environmental pollution, your body produces specific destructive enzymes known as matrix metalloproteinases, or MMPs. These are essentially biological scavengers that, when overactive, dissolve your skin's structural collagen framework from the inside out. Curcumin has been proven in laboratory settings to inhibit these enzymes, effectively placing a molecular shield around your collagen fibers. But its architectural work goes much deeper than the surface. By silencing inflammatory signaling pathways like NF-kappa B, turmeric allows the delicate cartilage in your joints to actually begin repairing itself, rather than being constantly eroded by the friction of inflammation. In the practical implementation of this golden root, you must understand a critical scientific reality. Curcumin is notoriously difficult for the human digestive system to absorb. To unlock its regenerative power, you must utilize the synergy of nature. Always consume turmeric with a touch of black pepper and a source of healthy fat, such as extra virgin olive oil. The piperine found in black pepper increases the systemic absorption of curcumin by an incredible 2,000%, transforming a simple culinary spice into a precision tool for cellular restoration. Next, we examine number 2, broccoli sprouts. The great inventor Thomas Edison once predicted that the doctor of the future would give no medicine, but would instead interest his patient in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. Broccoli sprouts are the living embodiment of that future. While mature broccoli is undeniably a staple of health, the 3-day-old sprout is a concentrated medical miracle. These tiny greens contain up to 100 times the concentration of sulforaphane compared to the fully grown plant. Sulforaphane is not a simple antioxidant. It is a powerful signaling molecule. It enters your cells and activates the NRF2 pathway, which is effectively the master switch for your body's entire internal pharmacy. Instead of just providing a few external antioxidants, sulforaphane commands your own cells to produce their own glutathione, the most powerful and effective detoxifier known to medical science. This process shields your DNA from mutation and rebuilds the functional health of your liver and lungs at a foundational level. In your daily practice of using these sprouts, there is one non-negotiable rule. You must never boil or high heat them. Excessive heat destroys the enzyme called myrosinase, which is the biological key needed to create sulforaphane in the first place. Eat them raw in your salads or blend them into a cool smoothie. To further amplify the effect, add a small amount of mustard seed powder to your meal. This provides a secondary dose of the necessary enzyme, ensuring that every single sprout you consume is fully activated for the task of rebuilding your internal defenses. Number 3 brings us to the liquid gold of the ancient Mediterranean, extra virgin olive oil. To the great thinkers of the classical world, olive oil was never regarded as just a food. It was a sacred substance used to heal the wounds of soldiers and maintain the structural strength of the heart. The rebuilding power of truly high-quality olive oil is found in a unique polyphenol called oleocanthal. This molecule is a masterpiece of natural engineering. It mimics the precise biological mechanism of ibuprofen by inhibiting the enzymes that cause systemic pain and the breakdown of your tissues. But it does so without the harmful side effects that pharmaceutical drugs often have on the delicate gut lining. More importantly, oleocanthal is a potent catalyst for the process of autophagy. This is a state where your body begins a deep, neurological and vascular cleaning, identifying old, misfolded proteins in the brain and stiffened fibers in the arteries, and recycling them into fresh, healthy components. When selecting this liquid gold for your daily use, you must look for the sting. If your olive oil does not provide a sharp, peppery scratch at the back of your throat, it lacks the vital polyphenols required to rebuild your tissues. Consume at least 2 tablespoons of raw, unheated, high polyphenol olive oil daily to ensure that your cardiovascular system and your brain remain flexible and resilient. Number 4 takes us to the legendary herb of longevity, gotu kola. In the vast history of Eastern traditional medicine, gotu kola was sought after by monks to rebuild their mental focus and by master healers to close physical wounds that the body's own systems had seemingly abandoned. Modern molecular research has now identified gotu kola, or Centella asiatica, as a specialized stimulant for a type of cell called a fibroblast. Fibroblasts are the hard-working construction workers of your connective tissue, tasked with the constant production of collagen. As we move through the decades of our lives, these cellular builders often fall into a state of metabolic sleep. Gotu kola contains specific triterpenoids that essentially knock on the cellular doors of these fibroblasts and command them to return to their building duties. This plant physically strengthens the walls of your blood vessels and enhances microcirculation, ensuring that the vital nutrients and oxygen carried in your blood actually reach the remote construction sites in your skin, your joints, and your internal organs. Gotu kola is most effectively used as a consistent daily tea or a standardized botanical extract. Because it targets the structural integrity of your veins, it is a primary tool for anyone looking to rebuild their physical form after an injury or to naturally reverse the visible signs of skin degradation. Number 5 in our renaissance of repair is the blueberry. The philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote that the first wealth is health. And if your genetic blueprint is compromised, no amount of effort can rebuild a healthy form. Blueberries are concentrated sources of anthocyanins, the deep, dark pigments that give them their distinctive color. These compounds possess a rare and scientifically precious ability. They can cross the blood-brain barrier. Once they enter the brain, they act as guardians of your genetic code, stabilizing the DNA within your neurons and protecting them from the oxidative decay that leads to the slow decline of the mind. Emerging studies even suggest that the specific polyphenols found in blueberries can support the health of your neural stem cells. This allows the brain to continue the remarkable process of neurogenesis, the actual creation of new brain cells, even deep into our later years. When you implement this food into your life, seek out wild blueberries whenever possible. These smaller, hardier berries have a much higher skin-to-pulp ratio, which means they contain a significantly higher concentration of the anthocyanins required to defend your brain's delicate architecture. A single cup of these berries daily is an investment in the long-term resilience of your neurological system. Number 6 is aloe vera, a plant so respected in the ancient world that the Egyptians called it the plant of immortality. While many people think of aloe only as a topical gel to be applied to a burn, its true power for systemic rebuilding is unlocked when it is consumed internally. From the perspective of modern biochemistry, aloe vera is an incredibly complex biological laboratory. It contains a unique polysaccharide called ace-mannan, which has the fascinating ability to integrate itself into our cell membranes. Scientific research indicates that when ace-mannan is ingested, it signals the body to ramp up the production of type 1 collagen, providing the structural scaffolding that our cells need to grow and thrive. This is particularly vital for the health of the gut lining. The same cooling compounds that soothe a burn on your skin work to heal a leaky gut, rebuilding the mucosal lining of the stomach and ensuring that every other nutrient on this list can be absorbed with maximum efficiency. To use this plant effectively, you must consume only the clear, inner gel of the leaf. Blend 2 tablespoons of this fresh gel into your morning routine to act as a systemic moisturizer for your joints and a restorative balm for your digestive tract. Number 7. Garlic, the master vascular engineer. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder was so convinced of garlic's power that he listed it as a cure for over 60 different ailments. Today, we understand the chemistry behind this conviction. Garlic's primary rebuilding power comes from its ability to stimulate the production of hydrogen sulfide in the human bloodstream. Hydrogen sulfide is a critical signaling molecule that instructs the walls of your arteries to relax and expand, which, over time, helps to rebuild the elasticity that we naturally lose as we age. Stiff, hardened arteries are a hallmark of physical decline. Garlic helps to keep the cardiovascular highway young and supple. Furthermore, garlic acts as a selective guardian of your internal microbiome, killing off harmful pathogens while leaving your beneficial bacteria untouched. However, to get these benefits, you must respect the wait rule. You must crush or chop your garlic and then wait for at least 10 minutes before exposing it to any heat. This time allows a chemical reaction to occur between the enzyme alliinase and the compound alliin, creating the active healing molecule allicin. If you cook it too soon, the reaction is killed, and the rebuilding potential is lost. We continue our exploration into the structural reinforcements of the human form with number 8. Red lentils. The great Renaissance physician and alchemist Paracelsus once remarked that all that man needs for health and healing has been provided by nature, and that the true challenge of science is simply to find it. While modern convenience culture often dismisses the humble lentil as simple peasant food, molecular biology identifies it as a concentrated packet of architectural data for your cells. Each single cup of cooked lentils delivers about 18 grams of high-quality plant protein. These are not merely calories to be consumed. They are the literal bricks and mortar used by your body to repair micro-tears in muscle fibers and rebuild the structural integrity of your internal organs. But the hidden genius of the lentil is its massive concentration of natural folate, also known as vitamin B9. In the complex world of your cells, folate acts as the primary supervisor of DNA synthesis and repair. Without a steady supply of this supervisor, your body's internal renovation process becomes prone to genetic typos and errors, which eventually manifest as accelerated aging and cellular dysfunction. To unlock this rebuilding potential, you must address what scientists call the anti-nutrient paradox. Ancient culinary traditions always involved soaking lentils for 12 to 24 hours. We now know that this practice activates dormant enzymes that break down phytic acid. This is crucial because phytic acid acts like a biological magnet, binding to and stealing the zinc and iron your body desperately needs for tissue repair. When you cook them with warming spices like cumin and ginger, you assist your digestive system in breaking these complex proteins down into the bioavailable fragments your cells can actually use. Number 9 on our list is moringa, often called the miracle tree in its native regions of the Himalayas and Africa. Moringa is perhaps the most nutritionally dense land plant ever studied by botanical researchers. It functions as a biological multi-tool for any body in need of a total system reboot. Moringa leaves are a rare exception in the plant kingdom because they contain all 9 essential amino acids, providing a complete protein profile. This makes it a primary tool for the prevention of sarcopenia, the natural but devastating loss of muscle mass that occurs as we age. But the power of moringa goes even further. It contains 7 times more vitamin C than oranges and 4 times more vitamin A than carrots. While vitamin C is the essential catalyst for the production of collagen, vitamin A acts as a biological signal for cellular turnover. This ensures that old, worn-out skin cells are efficiently replaced by fresh, vibrant new tissue. Moringa is also rich in quercetin and camphorol, 2 potent flavonoids that act as biological bodyguards, protecting your rebuilding cells from the oxidative stress caused by heavy metals and environmental toxins. Because the nutrients in moringa are highly concentrated in its dried leaf powder, a little goes a long way. However, you must be careful not to boil the powder, as excessive heat will denature the delicate, heat-sensitive vitamins that drive the rebuilding process. Instead, whisk it into your meals after they have slightly cooled to preserve its full regenerative power. Number 10 brings us to amla, or the Indian gooseberry. In the vast history of Ayurvedic medicine, amla was classified as a rasayana, a substance capable of literally turning back the clock on tissue decay. Modern biochemistry has finally unmasked the molecular reason for this high praise. It is the most stable and potent source of vitamin C found anywhere on Earth. In the architecture of your body, vitamin C is the rate-limiting cofactor for the enzyme prolyl hydroxylase. This enzyme is responsible for building the stable triple helix structure of your collagen. If you imagine your collagen fibers as a strong rope, amla provides the molecular glue that keeps those fibers from fraying and snapping under pressure. Furthermore, amla's unique tannins protect the mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. When your mitochondria are healthy and efficient, your cells have the electrical budget required to perform deep tissue repair rather than just basic maintenance. Amla has also been shown to inhibit the formation of advanced glycation end products, the harmful compounds that cause the stiffening of joints and the yellowing of skin over time. Because amla is intensely sour and astringent, the best practice for daily use is to mix a small amount of the powder with raw honey. The honey acts as a natural carrier, helping the tannins and vitamins bypass the harsh environment of the stomach to reach the small intestine for maximum absorption. Number 11 is sea buckthorn. Used for centuries in the high-altitude regions of Tibet and the cold, windswept coasts of Siberia, this bright orange berry is the ultimate tool for sealing the body's internal and external surfaces. Sea buckthorn is one of the very few plants on the planet that contains palmitoleic acid, more commonly known as omega-7. This rare fatty acid is a key structural component of the human skin and the mucosal lining of the entire digestive tract and lungs. Think of omega-7 as an internal gasket that helps to heal a leaky gut, while keeping your skin hydrated from its deepest layers. Clinical research has shown that omega-7 signals the body to accelerate the healing of the skin's basement membrane, which is why it is so effective for rebuilding tissue after severe environmental damage. It contains over 190 bioactive nutrients, including a synergistic blend of vitamin E, carotenoids, and plant sterols that reinforce the cell membrane against intrusion. To get the full rebuilding benefit, look for a CO2 extracted oil that includes both the berry and the seed. Taking this oil daily is like applying a liquid Band-Aid to your entire internal system, reinforcing everything from your digestive tract to your cardiovascular walls. Number 12. Rose hips. While many of us admire roses for their fleeting beauty, the true medicine is found in the hardy fruit left behind after the petals have fallen. The rose hip is a structural engineer for the human skeletal system. It contains a very specific galactolipid known as GOPO. Clinical trials have demonstrated that GOPO has the remarkable ability to discourage white blood cells from accumulating in the joints, effectively turning off the corrosive inflammatory response that slowly eats away at your cartilage. Rose hips also contain up to 20 times more vitamin C than a lemon, which works in harmony with these galactolipids to stimulate the production of new cartilage cells called chondrocytes. They are also dense with lycopene and anthocyanins, which protect the synovial fluid in your joints from thinning out due to oxidative stress. Because the GOPO molecule is sensitive to high temperatures, the best way to rebuild your joints is to use a cold-processed rose hip powder. You can stir it into your morning yogurt or mix it into room temperature water. If you prefer it as a tea, ensure the water has cooled down significantly from a boil so that you do not denature the regenerative lipids that your joints are waiting for. Number 13 is black seed, or Nigella sativa. Ancient physicians across the East and Middle East claimed that this tiny seed could heal everything except death itself. While that sounds like poetic folklore, modern immunologists are fascinated by its ability to modulate the body's most complex repair system, the immune response. The active compound in black seed, called thymoquinone, is a potent and selective antioxidant. It seeks out damaged or malfunctioning cells and signals the body to eliminate them, a process that prevents the spread of chronic inflammation. At the same time, it shields healthy tissue from decay. Black seed oil has been shown to inhibit the matrix metalloproteinase enzymes, those biological vampires that come out during times of stress to chop up your healthy collagen fibers. By silencing these enzymes, black seed acts as a structural preservation system for your skin and your joints. It is also one of the few substances proven to support the regeneration of liver cells, the primary detoxification centers of your entire body. The oil is very potent and can be quite spicy, so the best way to use it is to mix 1 teaspoon with a teaspoon of raw honey. The honey helps the thymoquinone reach the small intestine safely, ensuring that the master architect can get to work on your cellular foundation. Number 14. Pumpkin seeds. Often overlooked as a mere snack, these seeds are actually the mineral vault of the plant world. They are absolutely essential for anyone looking to rebuild their hormonal and structural health from the ground up. Pumpkin seeds are one of the highest plant-based sources of zinc, a mineral that is a non-negotiable requirement for DNA synthesis and cellular division. If your body is deficient in zinc, its ability to rebuild itself after an injury or a strenuous workout is fundamentally compromised. Zinc is the foreman on the construction site of your body. Without him, the work simply stops. Pumpkin seeds are also an immense source of magnesium. Since every single repair action in your body requires ATP energy, and every molecule of ATP must be bound to a magnesium ion to be biologically active, these seeds provide the batteries for your body's total renovation. Furthermore, they contain high levels of tryptophan, which your body converts into serotonin and then into melatonin. Since 90% of your body's actual rebuilding and tissue growth happens during the deep stages of sleep, pumpkin seeds are a foundational food for the nocturnal repair cycle. To maximize their value, choose sprouted pumpkin seeds or soak them yourself for a few hours. This removes the phytic acid and makes the zinc and magnesium much more available for your body to absorb during the night. We continue our deep dive into the biological renaissance with the final tier of master regenerators, moving toward our goal of a complete cellular renovation. Number 15. Korean ginseng, specifically Panax ginseng. The legendary scientist Louis Pasteur once observed that fortune favors the prepared mind. But in the world of molecular biology, we can say that fortune favors the prepared cell. Panax ginseng is the ultimate tool for preparing your cells to receive the signals of repair. While most of the world knows ginseng as a simple energy tonic or a caffeine alternative, researchers in the field of regenerative medicine are fascinated by its role as a signal booster for the body's structural proteins. It contains active compounds called ginsenosides, which function as biological amplifiers. As we move through the decades of our lives, the signals that tell our cells to build new tissue begin to grow quiet, like a fading radio station. Ginseng acts as a signal repeater, turning that volume back up. Specifically, it has been shown to stimulate the expression of type 1 collagen in dermal fibroblasts. This means it isn't just providing the bricks, it is providing the high-energy foremen who make sure the bricks are actually laid. Furthermore, Panax ginseng is a powerful adaptogen, meaning it helps the body manage the destructive effects of cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone that, when chronically elevated, literally melts away your connective tissue and connective proteins as a side effect of the survival response. By moderating the adrenal system, ginseng protects the very architecture you are trying to rebuild. For the best implementation, utilize a standardized red Panax ginseng extract in cycles of 6 weeks, allowing your body to integrate these high-frequency repair signals without becoming desensitized. Number 16 is green tea, or more specifically, its crown jewel molecule, epigallocatechin gallate, known to the scientific community as EGCG. If there is one daily habit that defines the biological elite, it is the consistent consumption of high-quality Camellia sinensis. Green tea is not merely a beverage. It is a systematic flood of polyphenols that act as the master guardians of your telomeres. Every time a cell divides, the protective caps on the ends of your DNA, called telomeres, get a little bit shorter. When they get too short, the cell stops repairing itself and enters a state of senility. EGCG has been studied for its ability to protect these genetic caps, effectively slowing the rate at which your biological clock ticks. But its work in the architecture of the body is even more direct. It has been shown in laboratory models to suppress the expression of the gene for MMP1. As we established earlier, These enzymes are the biological rust that eat through your skin's structural framework. By silencing these genes, green tea prevents the fire of inflammation from ever starting. To make this a pillar of your rebuilding practice, you need a minimum of 3 cups a day, steeped for exactly 5 minutes to ensure maximum extraction of the EGCG. Avoid adding dairy, as the proteins in milk can bind to the polyphenols and neutralize their ability to enter your bloodstream and begin the work of genetic protection. Number 17. Spinach. While it is often dismissed as a basic health food, its molecular profile reveals it to be a sophisticated system for maintaining the structural resilience of your body's largest organ, the skin. Spinach is loaded with a group of antioxidants known as carotenoids, specifically lutein and zeaxanthin. These molecules have a fascinating property. They migrate to your skin and eye tissues and create a baseline of internal photoprotection. This acts like a biological shield against the oxidative damage caused by daily sunlight, which is responsible for up to 80% of the breakdown of your collagen matrix. But the rebuilding power of spinach extends to your very bones. It is a massive source of vitamin K, which is the essential supervisor for bone mineralization. Without enough vitamin K, your bones lose the flexibility provided by their internal collagen matrix and become brittle like old glass. Spinach ensures that the rebuilt framework of your skeleton remains as resilient as it is strong. In your daily life, the secret is variety. Eat spinach fresh in your salads to preserve the heat-sensitive vitamin C required for collagen synthesis, but also lightly steam it. Steaming breaks down the oxalic acid and makes the iron and minerals significantly more bioavailable for your body to absorb during the day's metabolic repair cycles. Number 18 brings us to the pomegranate, an ancient symbol of life and fertility that modern science is now validating as a mitochondrial mechanic. The pomegranate contains a unique class of tannins called punicalagins, which are found almost nowhere else in the plant kingdom. When these compounds are processed by your gut microbiome, they are converted into a molecule called urolithin A. This molecule is one of the only substances known to man that can trigger a process called mitophagy. Think of mitophagy as a factory reset for your cell's power plants. It identifies the old, worn-out, and inefficient mitochondria and signals the body to recycle them into new, high-performance engines. This is critical because tissue repair is a high-energy process. If your biological batteries are low, your body cannot perform the deep tissue renovation required to keep your joints and heart young. Regular consumption of pomegranate juice, real, pure, unsweetened juice, has been shown to improve arterial flexibility and enhance the energy budget of every cell in your system. Just 8 ounces a day is enough to fuel the construction site of your body with the clean energy it needs to rebuild. Number 19. Grapes and grapeseed. The vine is a biological factory for 2 of the most exciting and potent compounds in the history of longevity research, resveratrol and proanthocyanidins, often abbreviated as OPCs. These molecules have a unique magnetic affinity for collagen fibers. They don't just swim near them, they bind to them directly, cross-linking the fibers to create a matrix that is physically tougher and more resistant to enzymatic degradation. It is as if they are reinforcing the structural steel of a skyscraper with a specialized protective coating. Resveratrol, found primarily in the skins of dark grapes, is a master regulator of the SIRT1 longevity gene. This gene coordinates the repair of damaged DNA and protects your cells from photoaging, the destruction caused by environmental stress. To get the medicinal concentration needed to truly rebuild your form, you must look toward standardized grapeseed extracts or consume the entire fruit, including the bitter seeds where the structural stabilizers are most concentrated. This is the difference between eating for flavor and eating for biological architecture. Finally, we arrive at number 20, cooked tomatoes. We end our list with a food that is a staple in kitchens around the world, yet few realize its profound role as an internal guardian of the skin's architecture. Tomatoes are the primary source of lycopene, a carotenoid that is a specialized defender of the extracellular matrix, the framework that keeps your face firm and your tissues supple. But there is a scientific catch. The rebuilding potential of a tomato is largely locked away when it is raw. You must apply heat to break down the tough cellulose walls and release the lycopene into a form your body can actually recognize and use. This is why a slow-cooked tomato sauce or a concentrated tomato paste is a superior medicinal tool compared to a raw slice. Furthermore, lycopene is fat-soluble, meaning it requires a vehicle to enter your system. When you pair your cooked tomatoes with high-quality extra virgin olive oil, returning to our liquid gold from earlier, you create a perfect synergistic delivery system. This drives the lycopene directly into your cell membranes, creating an internal layer of protection that resists the structural collapse of your tissues over time. The biological renaissance. Final summary. As we have seen throughout this comprehensive journey, your body is not a machine that is destined for an inevitable and steady decline. It is a living, breathing landscape that is constantly being replanted, rebuilt, and restored at every level of its existence. The 20 foods and plants we have explored are not just healthy options in a sea of dietary trends. They represent a biological renaissance, a return to the fundamental instructions that your DNA has been waiting for. From the inflammation-blocking power of turmeric and the genetic shielding of green tea, to the mitochondrial rebuilding magic of the pomegranate and the structural reinforcements of moringa and red lentils, nature has provided a complete and perfect instruction manual for physical regeneration. The secret to this entire system is not a one-time cleanse or a temporary fad, but the daily, quiet layering of these plant-based intelligences into the very fabric of your life. Imagine a morning starting with the cognitive clarity of gotu kola and green tea, a midday meal rich in the mineral-dense architecture of spinach and sprouted pumpkin seeds, and an evening focused on the heart-healing synergy of cooked tomatoes and liquid gold olive oil. By aligning your daily habits with the molecular wisdom of these plants, you are no longer just fighting against the passage of time. You are providing your body with the precision tools it needs to thrive. The legendary Leonardo da Vinci was correct. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. By providing your cells with these specific building blocks, you are starting a renovation that will be felt in the strength of your joints, the clarity of your skin, and the resilience of your mind for decades to come. Choose your first 3 architects from this list today and start the process. Your body is ready to begin the work. All it needs are the materials. Keep growing, keep rebuilding, and remember that every single meal is a profound opportunity to design the person you are going to become tomorrow.